This is Part 2, Episode 136. The eyes of Lei Zunja's group immediately revealed a fierce glint when they heard those dense words of the black-robed old man. Leave that black-robed old man to the sky demon puppet. A chillness also surged within Xiao Yan's eyes. The most troublesome person to deal with in the other party was the black-robed old man. As long as they subdued him, the others were not worthy of their worry. Xiao Yan formed a mysterious hand seal after his words sounded. The spiritual strength between his brows also spread. Following the spreading of his spiritual strength, the 10 earth demon puppet in the mid-air also shifted their footsteps. Within the short blink of an eye, the formation that had been displayed outside of the large hall earlier was once again formed. This kind of formation was extremely mysterious. It could temporarily add the strength of the other puppets onto the puppet at the center of the formation. Fortunately, Xiao Yan had also successfully obtained the secret of this kind of formation when he was obtaining the control of these puppets. Hence, he did not panic when using it. A cry was emitted from within Xiao Yan's throat. The sky demon puppet moved and rushed into the formation. Immediately, bright silver light surged out from within the 10 puppets and continued to flow towards the sky demon puppet amongst them. Attack! The expression of the black-robed elder involuntarily sunk when he saw this action of Xiao Yan. He had also witnessed the uniqueness of this puppet formation earlier. Immediately, he let out a sharp cry. Lei Zunja and the rest also nodded heavily upon hearing this. Their feet stomped on the ground and their bodies transformed into numerous light figures that rushed towards the altar. In an instant, rumbling rushing wind sound continued to resound across this entire place. You should first pass through the old me if you wish to snatch anything. Xiao Yan howled furiously when he saw everyone rushing over in a shocking manner. He stomped his foot on the ground and the land trembled at this moment. Humph, it is rumored that the dragon bear possessed the ability to destroy the mountains and split the ground. Allow the old me to have a taste of it today. The chief of the great earth tiger laughed coldly as a deafening tiger roar suddenly sounded. Immediately, his body directly turned into a ray of light that rushed towards Xiao Yan. Watch this, father of your burst you head with a punch. A ferocious expression surfaced on Xiao Yan's face. He clenched his large fist. After which, it became like a rampaging tank that collided heavily with the great earth tiger chief without backing off. Immediately, a frightening wind swept apart like a storm. Leave that Lei Zunja to me. Little fairy doctor looked at the intense big battle that had erupted almost immediately. Her pretty eyes also looked towards Lei Zunja, who was charging over with a bright lightning glow. She let out a soft cry and her lovely body came rushing out. After which, she stopped Lei Zunja in the mid-air. Her hand was waved and a grey fog spread out in all directions. Leave that chief of the Silver Moon Wolf tribe to me. Xiao Yan, that person from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe will be left for you to handle. Tianhua Zunja also moved. He directly blocked that Silver Moon tribe elite Dozun. Vast and mighty aura spread and directly caused the expressions of those behind to change. Xiao Yan also nodded slightly as he watched the battlegrounds that were swiftly being formed. He glanced at the white-haired man, who was walking over through the air. A cold smile surfaced on his face. Qing'er, you should have sensed the strangeness of this place, no? The black-robed old man swept his eyes over the entire area, before suddenly turning his head and speaking towards Feng Qing'er. Feng Qing'er's eyes flickered slightly. She sensed a little before a joy rushed into her eyes. She nodded quickly and said, Elder, please be rest assured. Leave it to me. Yes, whether we can successfully obtain the Dragon Phoenix origin fruit will depend on you. The black-robed old man nodded. Immediately, he waved his sleeve and rushed out like a huge bird. The mighty aura of a 5-star Dozun was completely erupted at this moment. The sky and land changed because of it. Bright light surged and were poured into the body of the sky demon puppet. Following the pouring in of such a great amount of energy, the dark gold color of the sky demon puppet involuntarily became deeper. Roar! A dry low roar was suddenly emitted from the throat of the sky demon puppet, after a final ray of silver light poured into its body. Those empty eyes belonging to it had already been permeated by golden light. It raised its head and looked at the black-robed elder rushing over. His leg stomped on the empty air, and this empty space immediately crumbled into countless number of dark black crack lines. Those 10 earth demon puppet behind had turned into an ordinary metal color at this moment. Clearly, all of their energy had been drained. Humph, a mere puppet is actually also thinking to stopping the old me. The black-robed old man laughed coldly as he looked at the sky demon puppet, which had transformed into a golden light. His fist was clenched and he threw a punch without any fancy move. Clang! The two collided with a bang. Frightening sonic waves spread throughout the sky. Some of the Do Zone class experts immediately felt their throat becoming sweet. A shocked expression quickly covered their faces. This was merely the remnant wave from the battle. Yet, they were already unable to endure it. A battle at this level was really too frightening. Both fists collided. The black-robed elder's body shook. He looked at the sky demon puppet, which had taken 2 steps back. His eyes were exceptionally gloomy. Although he could suppress this puppet, the frightening strength of the latter caused even him to quietly be shocked. A puppet was actually able to reach this level. How unbelievable. During the time that the black-robed old man and the sky demon puppet were engaging in an earth-shaking big battle, the white-haired man had also appeared in the air above the altar. His eyes were sinister as he stared at Xiao Yan and laughed. Xiao Yan, today, I shall let you see what it means by there is always someone greater. You still do not have the qualification to dominate the younger generation. The white-haired man stepped across the air. A fierce aura spread across the sky. From the looks of his strength, he was actually a 2-star Dozun. He was indeed 1 star stronger than Xiao Yang. The white-haired man suddenly clenched his fist after the loud laughter sounded. Bright golden light surged. A golden light fist seal that was hundreds of feet large was formed in a lightning-like fashion. After which, it carried an incomparably overbearingness and rushed towards Xiao Yang on the altar like a thunderbolt. Low and deep sound of air being blasted apart was being emitted wherever the fist passed. Heaven Phoenix Tyrant Punch. Xiao Yang's body moved as he looked at the frightening fist that came rushing over from the sky. He also appeared in the mid-air. Seals were swiftly being changed with his hands. A palm print also appeared with lightning-like speed. Overturning land seal. The bright palm seal surfaced on Xiao Yang's palm. After which, it suddenly rushed out and violently collided with the golden light fist of the white-haired man. Immediately, a frightening storm swept apart amidst an intense explosion. Bang! The wind spread. Xiao Yang's shoulders merely shook before he resolved the force. He raised his head towards the white-haired man in the sky and spoke faintly. I am not qualified to dominate. You are not qualified either. I will just see how tough your mouth will be when I beat you down later. The white-haired man laughed coldly. A fierce glint flashed within his eyes. His back shook and a pair of phoenix wings spread. The phoenix wings were flapped and its speed suddenly rose in multiples. It had appeared in front of Xiao Yang in a flash. An overbearing fist technique poured out without being held back. A cold glint flickered within Xiao Yang's eyes when faced with the white-haired man's storm-like attack. Vast and mighty Do Qi was swiftly being circulated within his body. Purple-brown flame was just like fire clothes on the surface of his body. Each time the white-haired man unleashed a fierce attack, it would be forcefully received by him in the most direct head-on method. A mere 2-star Dozun still did not have the qualification to force Xiao Yang to withdraw. Bang bang bang. 2 figures in the sky directly began the most intense and cruel physical battle. Fist met flesh. Frightening wind would cause the surrounding air to collapse during each exchange. A sharp rushing wind sound continued to appear unceasingly. The white-haired man's face gradually became serious following this extremely barbaric fight. His actual body was that of the heaven demon Phoenix, and he possessed an extremely strong physical body. However, Xiao Yang did not feel any discomfort when colliding head-on with him. Instead, Xiao Yang became increasingly fierce as he fought. It was as though the strength of the latter's physical body was not inferior of his. I do not believe that you, a mere human, would actually dare to compete with me, a heaven demon Phoenix, in terms of the strength of the physical body. A fierceness flashed within the white-haired man's eyes. His palm wind suddenly became extremely sharp. Xiao Yang still did not withdraw in the face of this fierce attack by the white-haired man. His eyes also took the opportunity to continuously sweep around him when they exchanged blows. His eyes suddenly hardened a moment later. The spot where Xiao Yang's eyes had become focused was the spot where Feng Qing'er was located. At this moment, she was biting her finger and dripping drops of faint purple fresh blood from it. Immediately, the blood was suspended in front of her. Feng Qing'er's face was grave as she looked at the blood. Her finger was dyed with it. After which, it began to draw gently in front of her. A moment later, a mysterious symbol appeared in the sky. The moment this symbol appeared, it was as though there was a faint phoenix cry resounding over this entire place. This phoenix cry might be extremely faint, but it caused the souls of Xiao Yan's group to tremble violently when it fell into their ears. Using blood as a contract as a seal, summoning the ancestor soul. Feng Qing respectfully knelt in the sky. After her words sounded, that symbol suddenly emitted a bright light. This light poured down from the sky before slowly landing on the bright red plains. Bang! The land suddenly trembled at this moment. Immediately, everyone was shocked to see that the heaven phoenix bones on the plains had actually began to slowly move at this moment. With the wiggling of these bones, a desolate aura that originated from the ancient times began to suddenly spread. The do qi that was circulating within the bodies of Xiao Yang's group suddenly began unusually sluggish. This is the remnant strength of the ancient heaven phoenix. The faces of Xiao Yang's group immediately changed upon sensing the great strength of this aura. There was no need to beckon them. All of them hurriedly left their own battlegrounds and withdrew towards the altar. Their faces were exceptionally ugly. This desolate aura slowly rose. Finally, it wrapped around the body of Feng Qing in the sky. Her delicate body shook and a golden glow flickered within her eyes. She lifted her hand and a majestic golden light, along with a frightening energy that could destroy the world, rushed towards Xiao Yang's group on the altar. In the face of this frightening energy, the hearts of Xiao Yang's group also sunk abruptly. However, just when they were prepared to attack together, a delicate little figure slowly appeared in front of them. Her calm voice erupted into a kind of pressure that was even more terrifying than that of the ancient heaven phoenix at this moment. Heaven phoenix ancestral soul her, unfortunately, this ancient void dragon ancestral soul of mine seems to be a little stronger. The golden light arrived from all directions. After which, it suddenly dissolved, when it was within 100 feet radius around that lovely little figure. In an instant, that destructive strength disappeared. Xiao Yang's group revealed a shocked expression as he looked at the lovely small figure in front of him. They could suddenly sense a kind of undescribable frightening pressure from within her body. Compared to this pressure, the ancient heaven phoenix earlier was undoubtedly much inferior. Both of them had summoned their own remnant ancestor soul. Tian Huozunja spoke with surprise. Xiao Yang nodded slightly. His eyes looked at the enormous bones on the plains and his heart was slightly shaken. It was unexpected that this ancient void dragon, an ancient heaven phoenix, would actually possess such a frightening energy despite having been dead for so many years. It seemed that these two big fellows were at least at the Doshin class when they were alive. Ancient void dragon. Ziyang, who had suddenly appeared in the ancestor soul that she had summoned immediately caused a shocked expression to surge up the face of the black-robed old man. At this moment, they finally abruptly remembered that in order for Xiao Yang's group to enter this beast's spiritual barrier, there must definitely be someone leading the way. Other than the heaven demon phoenix tribe, the only ones who could open this beast's spiritual barrier was the ultimate being in the magical beast, the ancient void dragon. However, the ancient void dragon was really too rarely seen. Hence, they had initially thought that Xiao Yang's group had used some unknown method. With this sudden appearance of Ziyang, they had suddenly understood that Xiao Yang's lineup actually hid a true ancient void dragon. Don't panic. This ancient void dragon is still a child. The eyes of the black-robed old man flickered rapidly. He saw the panic on everyone's faces before the corner of his eyes twitched as he spoke in a deep voice. Qing attack. Use the ancestor soul to kill her. After uttering those earlier words, the black-robed old man's eyes suddenly turned towards Feng Qing in the sky and cried sternly. The faces of Lei Zunja and the others involuntarily trembled when they heard that the black-robed old man actually wished to attack and kill an ancient void dragon. It was likely that no one would not feel a fear within their hearts when it came to this mysterious and powerful tribe. If the ancient void dragons were to discover that their tribe member had died in their hands, it was likely that they would be faced with the threat of annihilation. While these people were feeling a panic within their hearts, Feng Qing in the sky nodded with a cold and indifferent expression. With the help of the ancient demon phoenix ancestral soul, she currently did not possess any fear. Feng Qing clenched her hand. Bright golden light surged out from within her body. Immediately, a punch was thrown. One could hear a clear phoenix cry resounding over the place. A golden light heaven phoenix was swiftly being formed. It flapped its enormous wings and the entire sky shook because of it. That aura was extremely shocking. The golden phoenix flapped its wings after being formed before it blotted out the sun and rushed towards everyone on the altar. Under its enormous shadow, everyone truly sensed their inability to resist it. This kind of strength was really too powerful. Faced with such a frightening attack, Xiao Yan, whose body was covered by a purple light, took 2 slow steps forward. Her small hand faced the giant golden phoenix across some distance before clenching violently. With this clench, Xiao Yan's group immediately sensed that this entire place became dim. Soon after, the empty space collapsed. 1,000 feet large dark black empty hole appeared in the sky. That darkness, which was so deep that it could even swallow spiritual strength, caused one's heart to turn cold. Roar! This plum of Xiao Yan was just like a great mountain pressing downwards. It trapped the golden phoenix within the collapsed space. The latter struggled with all of its strength. That bright golden light being continuously emitted was just like a sun. Break! Feng Qing'er's face revealed a paleness when she sensed the situation of the golden phoenix. A mouthful of fresh blood that contained some purple color was spat out. This mouthful of fresh blood was directly sent across space. Within a flash, it had adhered onto the body of the golden phoenix. This blood strength that had suddenly arrived appeared to be like fuel being added onto a flame. It caused the golden light on the body of the golden phoenix to suddenly soar. The golden light was bright as the phoenix flapped its wings and escaped the collapsed space, transformed into a golden light, and violently shot towards the altar. Faced with the golden phoenix that was trying to escape from the collapsed space, Xiao Yan once again raised her small hand. An enormous purple light pillar shot out from her palm. The light pillar became distorted and swiftly transformed into an enormous ancient void dragon. It roared towards the sky as it bare its fangs, and collided violently towards the golden phoenix. Immediately, the dragon's body was twisted and it became just like a huge python that was firmly entangled with the enormous body of the golden phoenix. Bang! Xiao Yan's small face was icy cold. Her small hand was spread. Immediately, it was clenched violently. Crack! After it clenched its hand, the large body of that ancient void dragon began to violently shake. A frightening force that could annihilate the heavens and earth directly shattered the golden phoenix into pieces of gold-colored light clusters. Grug! The face of Feng Qing'er became ghastly white when the golden phoenix was shattered. A mouthful of fresh blood was involuntarily spat out. Her body staggered backwards and the golden light in her eyes swiftly scattered. The ancestral soul strength disappeared with lightning-like speed. The ancestor soul had been completely shattered. Feng Qing'er's eyes were shocked as she raised her head. She looked at the delicate little body in the distant sky. The ancestral soul that was called invincible in the ancestral books had actually met with such a miserable defeat after she had summoned it with great difficulty. The heart of the black-robed elder also sunk when he saw the golden light scattering from Feng Qing'er's eyes. His mouth quietly let out a bitterness. Who could have expected that Xiao Yan's group would actually have an ancient void dragon hidden amongst them? Moreover, the ancient void dragon was clearly the stronger ancestral soul that remained within this beast's spiritual barrier. Elder Huang, what should we do? Lei Zunja's group hurriedly asked while feeling an unease rose within their hearts after seeing that Feng Qing'er, who had acted mightily earlier, being defeated in such a miserable manner. The eyes of the black-clothed old man flashed. A moment later, he suddenly clenched his teeth and said, "Leave. Elder Huang Xian, that is the dragon phoenix origin fruit." That white-haired man unwilling said when he heard this. "So what if it is? Can you get it?" That black-robed old man's expression was dark and solemn as he demanded. The white-haired man was dull. The overall strength of Xiao Yan's group was not inferior to them. Now that they had the additional help of the ancient void dragon, their side had already fell into a disadvantage. How could they still snatch the dragon phoenix origin fruit? Leave quickly. They will ultimately have to leave this beast's spiritual barrier. At that time, they will not have the help of the ancient void dragon's ancestral soul. We will have plenty of opportunities. The black-robed old man was decisive. After knowing that the situation was bad, he immediately waved his hand and swiftly pulled back. Lei Zunja's group also hurriedly followed upon seeing this. "We will allow all of you to be free for a little longer." The white-haired man clenched his teeth unwillingly. However, he was also aware of the current situation. Hence, all he could do was to look at the altar with vicious eyes before pulling back. Humph! Ziyang let out a cold snort when she saw that these people were planning to leave. She threw a punch across the space, only to hear a rumbling muffled sound. A dark black spatial crack line spread within the empty space before directly rushing towards Feng Qing'er's group. The expression of the black-robed old man changed as he sensed the frightening wind that was rushing over in a lightning-like manner. The Do Qi within his body suddenly erupted. He turned his body and threw a violent punch out. The punch collided heavily with the spatial crack line that was rushing towards him. Grug! The ferocious collision directly caused the black-robed old man to feel a sweetness in his throat. His body flew rapidly backwards. Immediately, a crack line appeared within the beast's spiritual barrier, absorbing him out of the place. Leave quickly. A hoarse voice was hurriedly being transmitted into the ears of Feng Qing'er, and the rest while the black-robed old man borrowed the momentum to throw himself out of the beast's spiritual barrier. Seeing that the black-robed old man failed to even receive a single blow from Ziyang at this moment, the expression of Lei Zunja's group also became extremely ugly. They basically tried to flee out of the crack line with all their effort. That manner appeared extremely miserable. Xiao Yan's group involuntarily laughed as they watched the black-robed old man and the rest fleeing like dogs, which had just lost their homes. Immediately, their eyes were filled with shock as they looked at Ziyang. This ancient void dragon was indeed extraordinary. Just a remnant ancestral soul was actually able to be this powerful. Humph! Ziyang's body trembled after the last person fled from the beast's spiritual barrier. The purple light on her body swiftly disappeared. Her small face was also extremely pale. Are you all right? Xiao Yan hurriedly stepped forward and supported her upon seeing this. He took out a medicinal pill from his storage ring and stuffed it into her mouth while asking in a worried voice. I'm fine, the ancestral soul is too power, and it is too much of a burden to me. Ziyang shook her head. Her expression was a little better after having swallowed the medicinal pill. However, her voice was a little hoarse. Fortunately, that old fellow has already been injured by me. His fighting strength would at the very least be reduced by 20%. He would not be too troublesome to deal with the next time we meet him. Yes. Xiao Yang nodded his head slightly. He gently patted Ziyang's back and said, Relax, that old fellow still do not possess the ability to snatch the dragon phoenix origin fruit. They do not have the ability now, but they will definitely not give up. Once they leave the remains, they will definitely summon their experts from their tribe. I think that I should also transmit news to my clan. The dragon phoenix origin fruit must not land in the hands of the heaven demon phoenix tribe no matter what. Ziyang spoke in a solemn voice. This was the first time that Xiao Yang had seen this girl being so serious during these many years. It seemed that this dragon phoenix origin fruit was really extremely important to her. Yes, if the ancient void dragon could dispatch some experts within the tribe, the heaven demon phoenix tribe will likely not dare to have any bad thoughts. Xiao Yang softly nodded and said, You should keep the dragon phoenix origin fruit first. Otherwise something unexpected may occur if we delay any longer. Ziyang nodded. She swiftly walked towards the stone platform. After which, she bit her finger. She covered her hand with blood. Only then did she carefully touch the dragon phoenix origin fruit. The dragon phoenix origin fruit had just came into contact with Ziyang's hand when it emitted a glaring intense glow. Immediately, the dragon phoenix origin fruit actually transformed into a golden purple color liquid that flowed within Ziyang's hand. After which, it entered her body. An additional image appeared on Ziyang's palm the moment the fruit disappeared. That appearance was surprisingly the dragon phoenix origin fruit. The energy of this thing is far too frightening. I can only temporarily seal it within my body. At that time, I must get the elders within the tribe to help deal with it, Ziyang whispered. Since we have obtained the thing, let us leave. I wonder if we will discover the existence of the Qian class Do technique in other areas of the remains. Xiao Yang laughed softly. He also had some curiosity towards that Qian class Do technique. Everyone nodded when they heard these words of Xiao Yang. Since they had already taken the dragon phoenix origin fruit, there was no longer any meaning in them remaining here. Seeing that no one objected, Xiao Yang once again glanced at this plain, where an ancient heaven phoenix and an ancient void dragon had died. His toes pressed on the stone platform, and his body appeared beside the beast's spiritual barrier. Ziyang by the side randomly drew a crack line with her hand, and Xiao Yang's group rushed out through the gap. Golden light flashed within the forest. A couple of figures appeared out of nowhere. Do Qi immediately surged from their bodies after they appeared. The Do Qi was only withdrawn after they failed to sense any unexpected change around them. Those fellows has already fled beforehand. Looks like that old fellow is quite seriously injured. Xiao Yang sighed in relief upon seeing the empty forest as he laughed. Yes. Little fairy doctor, and the rest also nodded. Their eyes swept around the place, and they could vaguely hear the sound of some intense battles, and beast roars transmitted from within this forest. It was likely caused by those who had barged in to seek for treasure. Let's leave this place first. The commotion is becoming increasingly big. It would sooner or later disturb those powerful magical beasts within the deep parts of the forest. Things would be troublesome if we end up becoming entangled in it. Xiao Yang did not stay any longer after saying those words. His body moved and flashed towards the path which they had taken earlier. Ziyang and the rest swiftly followed behind him. Xiao Yang's group had met with quite a number of powerful treasure seekers along the way as they flew. These people felt somewhat surprised at Xiao Yang's group act of rushing towards the outside of the forest. The eyes of some of those who were careful flickered when they saw Xiao Yang's group rushing out from the deep parts of the forest. Their hearts appeared to have thought of something. However, due to the lineup of Xiao Yang's group, they had no choice but to withdraw the ill thoughts within their hearts. Xiao Yang's group rushed wildly towards the direction that they came from. They met with quite a number of eyes along the way, but did not end up being blocked. Hence, after around 20 minutes or so, Xiao Yang's group had once again appeared at the stone door where they had entered from earlier. During this journey of theirs out of the place, Xiao Yang's group did not discover the trail of Feng Qing'er's group. It seemed that they had left through another way. This caused Xiao Yang to feel some regret. At this moment, the latter had ended up entering a weakened state due to the black-robed old man's injury. It was a good opportunity to beat a dog when it was down. Rumble. After slowly opening the stone door, Xiao Yang's group once again glanced at the ancient forest behind them. They could vaguely sense some extremely fierce aura becoming increasingly stronger. It seemed that some unlucky fellows had barged into the territories of some extremely powerful existences. Xiao Yang group swiftly left while quietly pitying these unlucky fellows. After which, they shut the door tightly. Everyone looked at the tightly shut stone door within the spacious corridor. After which, they looked at this already messy corridor and the rooms on both sides. They involuntarily smiled bitterly and shook their heads. These fellows were too barbaric. Where should we go to now? Little fairy doctor's eyes looked towards Xiao Yang and asked. Let's walk inwards. The true treasure should be at the middle of the large hall. Xiao Yang mused a little. After which, he found their bearings and swiftly walked towards the other corridor. Ziyang and the rest hurriedly followed upon seeing this. This corridor had clearly already been violently washed once during the time that Xiao Yang's group had entered the ancient forest. The surroundings were not only a complete mess, but those originally clean rooms had also been destroyed until they were like ruins. It caused one to continue shaking one's head when looking at them. After seeing that the path had already been damaged until such an extent, Xiao Yang's group also no longer had the interest to continue looking at them. They increased their speed and hurried towards the middle of the large hall. Xiao Yang had also met quite a number of groups searching all over the places for treasure during the time that they were hurrying past. The thing that caused Xiao Yang to feel a little strange was that these fellows seemed to be hurrying towards a certain direction. A thought also passed through the hearts of Xiao Yang's group when they saw this scene. They exchanged glances and nodded slightly before following these groups. It's medicinal pills. Xiao Yang suddenly sniffed a familiar scent after following these group through a couple of corridors. A thought passed through his heart as he softly said, moreover, it is an extremely rich medicinal pill scent. It seems that there should be quite a lot of medicinal pills. If I guess correctly, it should be a pill room that stores medicinal pills. Oh? Everyone's heart were interested when they heard the words medicinal pills. Medicinal pills would always possess a great allure in this world. Moreover, the medicinal pills in this place were left behind by an elite Doshing. That allure was multiplied. Let's go. I am also quite curious about these ancient medicinal pills. It is a good opportunity to take a look. Xiao Yang was aware that everyone were interested after seeing their expressions. He laughed immediately as his toes pressed on the ground. His speed suddenly increased, and he overtook the group in front within a short while. Little Fairy Doctor, and the rest also activated their maximum speed behind Xiao Yang. Everyone seemed to have become very hardworking under the allure of the ancient medicinal pills. The corridor within the large hall was just like a maze. However, it was fortunate that Xiao Yang was relying on the medicinal pill scent. After spending over a dozen minutes, they had finally begun to gradually slow. A building that was filled with an ancient aura stood in front of them. Two majestic large words were present on the top of the building. Pill Hall. Xiao Yang softly read it in his mouth. His eyes shifted downwards. At this moment, this pill hall had already been found. One could vaguely see quite a number of human figures wildly searching all over the place. Let's go. Xiao Yang beckoned and was the first to enter this spacious building. The first story of this pill hall was very messy. Numerous human figures were barbarically barging into those pill refinement rooms like bandits, plundering everything. Occasionally, an extremely intense battle would erupt as they fought for medicinal pills. Xiao Yang's eyes randomly swept over this first story, before losing his interest. He waved his hand and rushed into the interior of the pill hall. After finding a flight of stairs that reached the upper level, he directly headed to the second story. Little Fairy Doctor's expression changed slightly when they entered the second story. She softly said, "Xiao Yang, you should give everyone an antidote if you have one. There is poison in the air here." Xiao Yang's group was startled upon hearing Little Fairy Doctor's words. They inhaled a couple of breaths and indeed sensed that something was not quite right. No wonder this second story has a lot less people. Looks like there are people already being caught by it. Xiao Yang's eyes swept over the place and immediately paused on some corpses on the distant ground. From the looks of it, they were clearly some fellows who had unluckily been poisoned to death. Xiao Yang took out a couple of antidote that he usually refined from his storage ring. He distributed them to everyone to consume. Only then did he said, "There are 3 stories in this pill hall. This is merely the second story. It is likely that the true treasure is on the 3rd story. However, since the second story has poisonous air, it is likely that the 3rd story will not be too peaceful. Everyone should be careful." Everyone nodded upon hearing Xiao Yang's reminder. Only Little Fairy Doctor curled her lips and smiled. Being in possession of the woeful poison body, the thing that she was least afraid of was poison. After the group conducted a brief search of the second story, they only found some medicinal pills that were not of a high tier. It was likely that others had taken the medicinal pills before them. After failing to gain any unexpected reward despite searching for a while, Xiao Yang's group could only give up. They found the pathway to the 3rd story, gave each other a reminder before entering it. The 3rd story of this pill hall was extremely spacious. There were various different-sized pill rooms that filled the area around him. Whether it was in terms of decoration or grandeur, it was far from what those 2 stories below could compare with. The poison air here is extremely dense. Moreover, it can erode the dou qi within one's body. Be careful. Little Fairy Doctor was most sensitive towards poison. She had sensed that the air was mixed with a potent poison when she arrived. Immediately, she issued a reminder. Everyone nodded upon hearing this. Their eyes looked around them. It was still possible to see some human figures on this 3rd story. The auras of these people were all quite strong. The weakest was also at the Dou Zone class. Of course, if they did not possess this little ability, it was likely that barging into the 3rd story would only end up with them seeking death. Xiao Yang's group, which had suddenly entered this place, had undoubtedly also attracted quite a lot of attention. However, no one took the initiative to come over and chat with them. Everyone here were being cautious of each other. I wonder if the 3rd story has the legendary Tier 9 medicinal pill. If it does, it will really be quite crazy. Tianhuazunja's eyes swept over the surrounding pill rooms as he laughed. It is likely not possible to have a Tier 9 medicinal pill. A medicinal pill of that tier is likely also quite rare to an elite Dou Xing. Xiao Yang smiled. He randomly found a pill room that no one had visited and slowly walked in. The size of this pill room was quite large. Due to it having not been patronized by others, it still appeared quite neat and tidy. After Xiao Yang searched the place, he had found an ancient medicinal formula. He glanced at it briefly before keeping it into his storage ring. Currently, there was no time to study these things in detail. Other than this medicinal formula, there was also a bottle of medicinal pill that had not been opened. From the pill fragrance that vaguely seeped out, it was likely a Tier 7 medicinal pill. However, there was no record of its effect on it. Xiao Yan was also unable to sense it within such a short time. After finishing the search of this pill room, Xiao Yan's group once again changed their target, and entered 8 pill rooms one after another. Although they did not gain much surprise, they could be considered to have gained something. Moreover, some ancient medicinal formula was also suitable to Xiao Yan. For an alchemist like him, the medicinal formula was sometimes far more valuable than the medicinal pill. Xiao Yan's group once again pushed open a pill room that stood at a corner. His eyes swept around him and his brows were knitted slightly. Compared to the other pill rooms, this place was undoubtedly much narrower. Moreover, from the looks of this messy manor, it seemed that it had been visited by someone else. Let's go. Xiao Yan lost his interest after his eyes swept over the interior. He waved his hand and was just about to turn around and leave when a white figure suddenly rushed past the messy pill room. The sudden appearance of the white figure also caused Xiao Yan's group to be startled. Do Qi was basically circulated within their bodies at that moment. Their eyes also followed the flashing white figure and looked over. They were startled. It was merely a small beast with white fur over it. This small beast appeared like a cat that was exceptionally fat. Its rounded appearance made it seem simple and honest. However, there was hardly any energy ripple within its body. It was just like an ordinary small beast. Xiao Yan's group sighed in relief. Their tensed heart also relaxed a little. He glanced at the round little fellow, and was about to bring others to leave when a thought suddenly passed through his heart. No, that's not right. This was the ancient remains. How could a cute and fat little beast that did not possess any energy appear in this place? Xiao Yan knitted his brows slightly. He once again turned his eyes and seriously stared at this round little fellow. A moment later, he appeared to have sensed something. A pair of eyes began to bulge like a frog in an instant. Little Fairy Doctor and the rest were startled when they saw this expression of Xiao Yan. This was the first time that they had seen this expression of Xiao Yan. However, before Little Fairy Doctor and the rest could open their mouths and ask, Xiao Yan's expression had swiftly turned bright red. A mouthful of vulgar words suddenly and involuntarily escaped from his mouth. Bloody hell, this fellow is actually a medicinal pill. This video will end here.